Zero? Oh,
Welcome
sorry.
everyone to the Toku Portal podcast. It's me Zero here with
Rye.
King?
Drago?
Your boy Tanks Go Boom here.
Today we're talking about Kamen Rider Build Episode 2. Before we get to that though, so last week we started using a new logo for Kamen Rider Build, but we had a little issue where some of the words at the bottom were getting cut off, and I tried to do a little workaround. This week we have a new logo instead. If you have a preference on one or the other, let us know in the comments. With that being said, let's move on to Build. So we start off with Sento and Soichi. They ask Ryuga about when he was arrested. After Ryuga got banned from professional fighting, he was introduced to a scientist for a job. The scientist he was accused of murdering. When Ryuga showed up, the scientist had already been stabbed, and then the cops showed up and arrested him for murder. The fact that the cops already seemed like they were kind of just waiting for him to walk in, this screams setup. Right from the beginning. What do you think?
Yeah, the only way this could be more set up is if they actually made this a friggin' TV show in a TV show. But I digress. I did like the little Ace Attorney thing where he's like, objection, and then just spouts out how it's so set up, it's not even funny. But yeah, I mean, it's interesting why him in particular was framed, but I guess he just wanted another experiment.
Sorry.
There might be something with that later, but I guess we'll just have to find out.
Yeah, just, oh my lord, it was hilarious. Just like, objection! I'm like, when are we in a courtroom? Come on, we're not in a courtroom, but whatever. And all of a sudden it's like, the girl comes out and is like, who are you?
Objection!
That's my line.
You don't need to be in a courtroom to shout objection.
Aww. Wait, did you just objection me? Did you just objection me?
Yes, he did. Continue on.
But yeah, I love the fact that when the girl comes out and and he just goes, ooh, it's a gorilla coming out of the microwave. The guy goes, who are you? That's my line. Jeez, I'm sorry. My lord. But then other than that, it was just a pretty hilarious moment with the serious of, now let's actually talk about why I got arrested. But let's start about when I was born and how much I weighed. Not your life story. And then during that, I'd like to mention that, I don't know, was that flashback real? Because I love how the Kamen Rider just came in, grabbed it, and just chucked it across the room. We don't need your life story. I don't know if that was just an effect or what.
It seems like this series is going to have some fun with visual gags like that.
I think they're breaking the fourth wall a bit, but yeah. Otherwise, it was pretty funny when Ryuga was reciting his backstory, and also the fact that oh my god, the secondary riders can't even catch a break. How many depressing secondary rider love lives have we had? We had Ren. We had Kaigza. We had
Zerono?
Look,
Zeronos.
the short answer is all of them.
Also, I don't think Ryuga is a rider. He's literally not one right now, but based on what we know about characters, I don't think he is just a rider. He might become one later down the road, but for right now, he isn't one of them.
Look at the opening itself. It's most likely he's gonna be a secondary rider. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, a
Yeah,
thought of
that's
one
what.
that might not be depressing. Beast? Does he not count?
Beast is dead now. So
Rip
because
Beast.
Rider
But
Beast!
like,
yeah, X8.
did he have a sad backstory during Wizard?
No.
No.
So he doesn't count?
Okay, technically he was going to die the whole time he's Kamen Rider Beast. The whole reason for him to fight Phantoms is so he can stay alive. So like,
Meanwhile, he
does
could be
that
more
count?
hyper than the one who wants to be the wizard assistant. Alright, I do see your point, though. He counts.
I mean, like, yeah, I can't like. Let's not get into who has the saddest backstory because like it's just what are you gonna do, right? It's just gonna be a parade of terrible, terrible
Long story
life
short,
decisions.
this dude's setting up to be the secondary rider. We just don't have it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was watching. Josh Knight the first, and like he was pretty much calling him a secondary writer, also, especially considering
Shout out to Josh.
yeah, especially considering we know that like there's gonna be another writer, and they said that like Build and his secondary are going to be kind of like Rider 1 and 2, so he's probably going to show up earlier than most secondaries. Drago, did you have
No,
anything to say?
actually, nowadays the norm that the secondaries show up in the first or the second episode.
Kamen Rider G3 showed up before Agito.
No, I mean that's a multi-writer. Yeah, that's true. That's a multi-writer show. Like usually, like if we're limited to 2 writers, then like the secondary shows up like 20-ish.
Well, some have been a bit more
Episodes.
traditional about it, like Drive and I think Wizard. Yeah.
We already know that this series has at least 3 riders, though.
Yeah.
That's
Does
getting
it?
in. Well, if this is getting into like some spoiler territory, but yeah, we know that there are 3 riders, and we've already seen the a second one in the first episode. But we're gonna talk
And
about
this,
we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about more
Yeah, that's
later.
a little.
Let's
Okay.
stick with that.
let's go Zero.
Oh man, like the only thing I can remember for this episode is like, oh, otherwise it was good. So now I have to think. Yeah, when they were like doing the backstory thing, I'm like, oh, okay, we're just starting off straight with like, generic plotline for secondary writers right here, which is, oh, I did this for a loved one. And later on I became a writer. I'm like, man, yeah, we're going to that trope super hard. Like at least the actor is good, so he could pull it off, and the scene transition was pretty awesome and funny. My only problem is like this whole episode should have been about Ryuga, or at least like most of it, where it's like maybe half of the episode is. So everything feels so rushed because like I know he can act, but like because we have to get through the scene so fast, like you barely have time to get any emotion in the damn things.
Moving on. Sorry about that. So the bottle for the smash that Sento defeated last episode is finished and comes out as a gorilla. Mizora comes out of the machine and meets Ryuga. Sawa, the journalist, comes down the stairs to the lab. She found the cafe because Sento dropped a card for it after he rescued her, and she found the lab because Soichi left the door open. She wants to cover the Kamen Rider and will provide information for them in return, but if they don't let her do that, then she'll just spill everything. So they agree to work with her. She's becoming like a mix of Raiko from Kuga and not Kuga, Ryuki, and Kotaro from Blade at this point. That's how I see it, at least.
Blackmail in its most classic degree, and I love it. I'm hoping that she'll be a little bit more prominent as the show goes on, but she does seem like a good character throughout. What we've got anyway. Very competent from what it seems, and yay, competent females. 2 of them that aren't entirely comic relief. I love that. So yeah, let's see how it goes. Although, really, do you have to be? You're a genius physicist, yet you can't realize that you dropped a card that leads to your secret hideout. Okay, fine. I'll call it plot convenience, but it was cute, the humor-wise, anyway.
Yeah. Well, how many times have we seen this actress again? She was in Ultraman, she was in the Axel movie, she was in Ghost, and she was in Gavan, and now she's in this show.
Diverse
Yeah,
actress.
that's one. That is one impressive.
What did she do in
tokusatsu.
Ghost?
She was in the Robin episode.
Oh, she was that
Fine,
reporter?
that's how I
That's
remember
awesome.
her.
She was great.
Yeah,
that's like-
that's
Yeah, right. You haven't seen it. It's a really early on Ghost episode, but it's actually pretty good. Like, it's so good. People are like, "Oh, this should have been a 2-parter," but it wasn't. Yeah, she was also a reporter in that. She was pretty awesome.
yeah, she was pretty awesome. But yeah, but I really like I really like the fact that the people there are so goddamn careless. Man, like seriously, like at least now I think this was a warning signal for Kiryu and Soichi to like at least lock the door and also not drop anything. Because what if it was a villain? Then they would have found out the hideout already.
I
Yeah.
doubt it.
Good point.
I doubt. No, because like its plot convenience is all around, and like the thing is, her finding it, like him dropping it, her then linking it back, and having the door open is super plot convenient. But it's also because like we clearly have no time. These characters have to be on the same side, and so we're just gonna get this plot like speed times like 10 and get it done. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. As for like the villains finding it, I'm like, I don't think so, because currently like everybody has like plot armor on them. So like, because like they see, okay, this could have been bad directing, where it's like Build, fights the Guardians, who are the grunts, like the robotic grunts. And then he turns a corner, he dehensions, and then like they come after him, and they're like, "Oh well, Bill's not here." I'm like, okay, first of all, you work for that company somehow, but or research institution. Like, why wouldn't they question you at least? Like,
Those are
I say it
robots,
could be
so
Their AI
No.
isn't that good. They're looking
yeah.
for Build's
No,
face,
but they have-
not
but they-
Sento's.
no. Okay. They have video cameras built into their heads, because that's what they use for the footage of Build attacking people, because he's
Oh my
attacking
God.
the Guardians.
Yeah, I didn't consider that. That is a continuity error right there.
mm,
Yeah.
Someone didn't think that through.
Yeah, right. Like the higher ups watching the camera should call him in to question him. It's like,
It's like,
okay, what were you doing there?
well,
Like,
did
even
you
if they don't
see where
suspect
he
him-
went? Why didn't you do
Yeah,
anything?
Exactly, right. And the other thing is, like, I say this is it could be a directing problem, because like, say if Build went around the corner, they lost sight of him, and then you see like there's another corridor or like a couple different roads, and then Sento is just walking down like a different one, and they would rush past him. It would have been perfectly fine, but it's just like there's literally no other person and no other place Build could have gone. So you should ask this kid where the hell he saw, right? Like, either he cooperates or he doesn't, and like either way, it's suspicious, right? Like, it's a huge plot point. And the thing is, that's what I'm saying. It's like this episode's super contrived a little bit. Okay. One last thing. Quintavis says she also likes the reporter character, so that's pretty awesome. I guess it's we all agree she's pretty sweet. I mean, she's a good character. Let's hope she stays a good character.
Once again, her name is Sawa Takigawa.
Okay. I'm probably gonna take a couple episodes to remember all the names.
That's why I'm gonna be saying them a bit like that. Did everyone say what they had to on that section on Sawa?
Not me.
Go on.
Basically, I just want everyone to keep in mind that this is the same report that last time we were going, no, editor, what else did he mean by let's go Kamen Rider all night? Oh my lord. Just like, I love how she has like that smart but like attitude, like, bruh, come on, think about it. What else does he mean by this?
No,
Like,
I think
just
that's
straight
more
out.
like. I think that's more like she's asking an editor. It's like, you set me up into the situation where like I could technically file like a harassment lawsuit right now. Like, you realize that right now, right? So I don't think she's like stupid. I think she's just like saying like, you realize what kind of situation you put me in. Go ahead, Rai.
Oh, I'm not trying to say anything. I don't know why my mic is going off like that. Oh, unless did you mean go on like with the episode?
Yeah, I was done. You can go.
Okay. Well, actually, did everyone say what they want to about Sawa?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So Sento, as Build, shows up to a warehouse by a harbor looking for a smash. Instead, he's ambushed by guardians, as he's now wanted by the Toto government. He evades them through the methods that Zero went off on earlier. Did anyone else have something to say? Because Zero got his fill in already.
I have a tiny little theory involving this one, and it leads into, well, partly what Zero said, and partly about how the government might be related to the Smash, in that they seem to obviously know about the Smash, because otherwise they wouldn't be going after Build if they didn't. So, if they're able to send out, like, signals of Smash, they would have to get those signals from somewhere, right? Particularly the origin point? Do you see where I'm going with this train of thought here? Like,
Yes.
I know what you're saying, but I think what actually happened this episode is they just got reports of sightings. So, like, yeah, the government is probably working with Faust, or like a part of the government, Faust is working with the Smash
The-
or creating them. But I think, yeah, you're kind of doing the Blade thing where they're faking the like undead signal. Like, I don't think they're doing that. I think they just called in like a fake report.
Yeah, I was
And,
gonna say,
these
like,
guy-
they clearly, like, were luring Build out.
that's fair. But I did like the bike scene. That was really cool. I like the fake out at the end, too. Despite the cameras, but we've already gone off on that.
Drago?
And then there's
Tanks?
basically, just the way that it seems like that that the guards, being robots and all, like, apparently they're not smart enough, like, they don't have the program to notice that the what he's looking at literally looks like the bike, because when you get the right angle,
It's a phone in that form. The only thing that looks similar is the bottle that is the same color as part of the bike, but that's not enough to go off of.
okay.
So, at the lab, in the cafe, Mizora handcuffed Ryuga because she doesn't trust him. She explains to him about purifying the Smash components into something that Build can use, and then looks at her bracelet. So, clearly that has something to do with it. When she leaves her phone near Ryuga, he tricks her into going into the machine to purify a bottle, and uses her phone to call someone named Kasumi. However, Kasumi is in the hands of the gas mask scientist and the Batman. Again, not the DC hero. Ryuga breaks out of his handcuffs and leaves, but because he took Mizora's phone with him, Sento is able to track the GPS. King, you have something to say?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
If you have something to say about this, go on.
All right. Nothing much. I kind of like the bit of humor. I like the tease of the mystery with Kasumi, and I did like the hint toward Masori's different nature. I'm very curious to see where that goes, and I'm finally convinced that Batman is evil. And yes, I mean the DC hero, because this dude is proof right there. Batmen are evil. I'm just leaving it at that.
The Joker did nothing wrong.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, Japanese Batman is dead, so. Okay. Anyway, we have gone way the hell off topic. Drago, any thoughts on this?
Not really.
Okay.
Batman looks cool though.
Okay, like, to be fair, like, I kind of had to wait a sec. Like, I had to give it a minute for, like, his look to grow on me, because I'm like, yeah, he looks okay, I just really hate the horn. But then it's like, oh, it's pipes, because he has this mist thing going on. So I'm like, alright, I'm more okay with the design now. Tanks, did you have anything to go on?
Yeah, I was just kind of like developing a theory with, because if the guy, the leader of the certain facility that is being worked on with the Pandora's box, he was there, but yet he wasn't affected the way everyone else is. Starting to, whether or not he is Batman, aka Night Rogue, or not.
Yeah, too, but I'm like, it. Like it could be him and it can not be him, because like the thing is, like, it's obvious that he was affected because like everybody was affected, and it kind of made them a little unhinged. But the other thing is, like, when Night Rogue's fighting, where is he? Like, if he was in the command room, like, it can't be him, right? So it's weird. Like, it's probably him, but there's a little bit of space where it can't be. What do the rest of you guys think? Who is it?
I hadn't really considered this idea. To me, it sounds plausible, but I feel like if that did end up being the answer, then they would spring that kind of twist on us. The way it would feel like when we found out who Mesagog was in Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Like, just, this asshole is him?
I don't think so. That guy is gonna be the Night Rogue. I think it's gonna be someone completely new. As far as I'm concerned, yeah. But otherwise, it's okay. That is not really. I doubt Night Rogue's identity does even matter.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a little too obvious, but yeah, like, if they're introducing a new guy, it's probably smart to do it now, because like if they're gonna do that, oh no, it was a twist. I'm like, really? Like, does anybody give a shit about that twist? Like, if it's somebody different, just let us know now. That comes into the other problem of like, what are the Martians? Because like, I think the shop owner and his daughter are Martians. So I'm like, they have a human-ish form. So,
Wait, why do you think they're Martians?
because he did that, like, he had like a tablet, and then he transformed it into.
back scratcher.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait, that wasn't just a newspaper?
No.
No.
Oh. See, I thought it was a tablet first, and then he turned it into the back stretcher. I thought, oh, maybe that was just a newspaper or something.
I thought that too for a second, but like no. Afterward, it's clearly like a tablet.
Okay.
So I guess we have Batman and Martian Manhunter in this.
Okay.
The thing about his daughter, kind of.
Wait, was Martian Man in this?
And iPad turned into a back scratcher.
Because we're talking about how they're probably Martians.
Okay, but I do not remember this scene from.
Don't worry about it, okay?
Okay, I'm just very confused.
Then why don't we move on? In a flashback,
Go ahead.
What?
Sorry, I said go ahead.
Oh. I thought you said, like, no head. I was like, wait, what? In a flashback, we learned that Ryuga got banned from professional fighting by betting against himself and then throwing the match. That is super illegal. He wanted the money to pay for Kasumi's surgery. Kasumi is his girlfriend, it seems. To make it up to him, Kasumi tells him about a scientist named Katsuragi who is looking for an assistant. Katsuragi being the scientist that he was arrested for the murder of. We kind of already talked about like how he's getting the kind of tragic secondary rider backstory. Like, this just feels like Hiro and Saki all over again to me.
I mean, maybe, but if it's any consolation, he finished that entire arc in 2 episodes. But seriously, I did like his backstory. It shows that, yeah, he may have fixed the fight, yeah, he may have kind of been at the murder scene, but he does have a heart. It just hasn't really shown very well unless you get to know him. So, I like that there's other layers under there, and for what it was worth, I did like the Kasumi thing, despite how short it was. It was really good to me.
I mean, it's just very like I don't understand how he got away with that at all.
How he got away with what?
The betting against himself.
He didn't.
He
He
didn't.
got banned for it.
Oh,
He was effectively fired.
oh, that explains. Like, wait, why was he banned? Then? He was like, he didn't do anything wrong. He just threw the match on. Banned for that or not?
Yeah, that is super illegal because people are betting real money on it, and he is effectively rigging the match.
Oh,
He bet against himself. As in, I'm betting this much money I'm going to lose. I was right, now give me my money.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
That is super
clears some
illegal.
questions.
And, he's lucky he only got banned for that. That's something you could get arrested for in some places.
Okay, that clears up a lot of questions. That just now that you said that, it kind of. Oh, the more you know. Ding. Okay. I mean, I know it's illegal. I know he got banned. He kind of had a good reason for it. He had a pretty good reason for it, for a surgery. I think he's more than sports.
I mean, that's probably why he's not in jail. It's because people are lenient. It's like, oh, well, you're doing this for your sick girlfriend. Like, I'm not going to throw you in jail for it, but, you know, you can't fight anymore.
Yeah. That's it's just one of those things where like when I first I was like what, and then there's also a thing that I'm starting to think he's not just friend. I think it's like his wife or something, because there was a zoom in on a ring on her hand. So I'm starting to think that they were married or something. I don't, or she was already married and he just had.
No, she wouldn't have been already married to someone else. If she was married, it was to him. They might have been engaged.
Okay. And that's basically it for me.
Well, how to rush a plot in one that should have taken 2 episodes in one episode. This one thing pissed me off in Build, that the entire episode was good. I would just say was not bad, but it was super rushed so that you couldn't even pick up on all the details. You couldn't even let the emotions of the characters be shown. This is one of the that's why I didn't like this episode as much as I liked the first one.
Zero? Anything?
Yeah. I agree with Drago. Like, it's super rushed. Like, okay, I'll give it one thing. This show is straight up like early Heisei Rider now, with like the way it's referencing and the stories and things. But like, it's also doing the thing of early Heisei Rider, where it's like all the interesting shit happens with the characters, and then like a random fight just like gets thrown into the episode, and that's pretty much what happened. I mean, like, that's not exactly what happened, because we had to add the tragic fight scene, which has been here since like, well, yeah, all right, let's go since like the first Rider, but that episode was a little different. Anyway, it's a staple, this type of episode. But usually, yeah, I agree with Drago. Like, it's usually like a two-parter, or like a full episode just dedicated to this plot would have been fine. It's just like, what it felt like to me was like, okay, this episode is good because it cheats. And then it cheats because it takes all the interesting parts and gives them scenes, and like all the stuff that's supposed to connect the plot line gets chucked out. So like, okay, well, normally when you write an episode, it's not so good because of the boring parts drag it down. Well, this cheats and it just took out all the boring parts, which made like a 2 episode story arc into a 1 episode story arc, and it just feels rushed. So it doesn't feel bad, it just feels rushed. And so it's kind of cheating. But like, the acting is really solid, so I'll give it that. Like, I mean, the comedy is fucking great because of how downplayed it is compared to how it's been. The fight was boring, but at least it was better than the first episode. But like, this plot, it could have been great. It's such a like Ryuki plot line, and then they rushed through it, and yeah, that kind of annoyed me too, because like, you can see these actors can act, but it's like they just do not have the time to actually like put the emotions in, because it would like drag the scene out like twice as long, and like, it's like a 20 something minute episode, and there's no time for that, which kind of really sucks. But I mean, at least it wasn't terrible, but yeah, I wish it was longer.
Ryuga, in the present now, is chased by guardians because he's still wanted. Build shows up and helps him out. The guardians begin combining together to form some kind of automated mech and open fire on them. Bill decides to try his new gorilla bottle with his diamond one and gets another best match like his rabbit and tank ones. He causes an abandoned car to drop onto the bridge they're on to launch himself at the mech so he can destroy it. Because he has a high IQ. He is supposedly the smartest rider there's ever been. So, physics.
Okay, wait. They corrected that and said smartest Heisei rider there's ever been.
Okay,
Because they-
smartest Heisei rider.
Okay, Philip. Still like,
Yeah.
Well, Philip wasn't smart. He just had literally the world encyclopedia in his head.
Okay, fine. At least they're smart enough to correct themselves.
Yeah, because Ichigo, you know that Ichigo had an IQ of 600, right?
600.
A
Yeah, I know.
6 fucking hundred? Are you
Yeah,
fucking kidding me? No wonder Shocker kidnapped him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shocker, isn't it?
Yeah. The thing is, like that's kind of one of the actually Shocker like continuously shows that like they don't kidnap. Just like normally you think it's like, oh, it's Shocker, they just show up and they kidnap grunts. Like they're not Cybermen, so they won't just take anyone. What they do is they want like you have to be physically fit and able and be super smart.
Yeah, like
So like, go ahead.
Takeshi Ongo's like friend worked for Shocker and recommended him, and then felt bad about it, and that's why he broke him out, and that's how Takeshi became the Kamen Rider.
Yeah, yeah, he was like his professor, and that's the other thing. What this kind of reminded me of is like an episode that's a little later on where it's like you find out like Hongo's friend comes and like they're having like a good time. It's like, oh man, I haven't seen you in a while and all this shit, and like they're good friends, and then you find out that like no, Hongo has to kill him by the end because like he joined Shocker because he was jealous of Hongo, which is kind of a slightly different plot point than the standard like, oh no, my loved one turned into like a Shocker monster, which is like episode 2. But they don't become like a full grunt, they just kind of become like this mind controlled like sort of zombie type thing. um Weirdly enough, that was also like a bat monster, and just basically imagine vampires and thralls, or not thralls, ghouls, where like they can turn humans into ghouls, so they would like follow the vampire's orders. That's sort of the thing he was kind of doing. um so like, yeah, this kind of plot line has been in Rider since like the very first Rider. As for like Ichigo being like super smart, like in the original like manga, apparently what happens is, because it's different than the show, is like Ichigo beats Shocker, and like something happens by the end. He becomes like the super rich, super smart person, but it's like normal human body starts breaking down. So he then like builds himself a new robotic body because he like becomes human again. Like I guess after he beats Shocker, he just takes out his cybernetics or whatever, and he just becomes like an immortal like android thing. In Kamen Rider 4, have you seen that movie? The V cinema for Kamen Rider GP.
Yeah.
I actually
I've seen
have
it.
not seen it, but go
Okay.
on.
When they go to like Rider Town or whatever, and then it cuts to this like room with like this giant supercomputer thing, and like Shocker's controlling that. Like in the manga, that's supposed to be Hongo. Like he just becomes this like super intelligence thing, and then he builds himself like an android body. So like the thing is like, Hongo is supposed to be like crazy smart. Like you know how in Batman, like in the comics, Batman or like Iron Man, but basically like Batman is supposed to be like the greatest mind or whatever, or one of the best. Like Hongo is
No,
supposed to...
actually, Iron Man, I wouldn't say he's one of the best because there's Reed Richards.
Reed
who is-
Richards. Well, that's why I said one of the best. And I'm not counting like the Illuminati exists, right? Like they're
Yeah.
the smartest people in Marvel. Um, so like that's why I said more like Batman, where he's like one of the smartest in like DC, and like Hongo is supposed to be on that level, right? Like maybe that's why like Ishinomori had like the first Rider fight like Spider-Man and Batman. So it's like, okay, like like my creation is just as good as you guys. I don't know, man. I don't know what the fuck Ishinomori was thinking, but like maybe that's one of the reasons. Also, hi Decade, did you have any thoughts on
Hey, Decade.
this?
Decade. Did you know that Kamen Rider Ichigo had an IQ of 600?
I do believe that has been mentioned before, but
Bud, your mic's a little off.
You sound a little low.
Quiet.
sorry.
I
Yeah.
physically cannot turn you up anymore. You're already maxed out for me. You're gonna have to do something yourself.
Yeah, I can do that. Is that better?
Hey,
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Okay. Guys, okay, just to clarify, a person in real life can't have IQ of 600 because that's not how IQ works.
Uh, it-
Yes, I know. It only goes up to like 200 max.
Yeah.
oh, really?
Also, like IQ. What?
I thought it could go above 200.
No, no, it can't. It's sort of like an aptitude test, and like the max you can get on the test is like 200 or something. The point is like the IQ test isn't actually that accurate in determining intelligence. It's more like indicating. It's more like like pattern recognition or like cognitive thinking and stuff like that. So it doesn't actually show like hyper intelligence. What it shows is like, okay, most smart people are kind of good at this shit. Like, how good are you at this shit? If you're good at this, you're probably going to be smart. That's sort of what an IQ test is. But like, I think the max is like 200. And so like, if you get like over 130 or something, you're kind of like genius level or something like that.
No. It's basically if you have over 120, then you have above average intelligence. So yeah, basically you'll be considered super smart.
In any case of the matter, Sento's on
Yeah.
Ichigo's level. Let's just I'd say that's
Well-
fair game.
Yeah, with this episode, I can agree with that because like that is probably something Ichigo would have done like if he had like access to powers. So like this is one of those things that like post decade Heisei does because like they have the whole like swap powers thing. It's like every once in a while you get like one episode, maybe a series where they like think about what their power ups do and use them. Like I think Double did it like once or twice, and like O's did it like one episode. Um, it's kind of sad, but like at least the writer is thinking about this. So like I hope we get more of this because he's supposed to be super smart. I mean, it's kind of weird the combinations he used, but like at least he's thinking.
Decade, Drago, did you want to go first or
Nah, I'm good.
Decade?
Nope.
I love this fight so much. Oh my god. I love the best match scene. Gave you a little Flose reference right there, which I was very happy about. I love that he was able to basically see how the fight was gonna go if he did it a certain way. And I really like that. Shows his more creative thinking side. And I love when he used Ryuga. Like, he just smacks the bike back into the garage while the robot's shooting lasers. And he's just screaming bloody murder the whole way. I love that. And their reaction to the robot was just priceless. I think that's a clever way to go, too. Like, give the grunts more to do, and give me a little part X-Aid, part Kyoryuger thing going for it, and I did like it. It was really cool.
I thought it was just, oh my lord, I'm at. Am I good? Oh, am I good?
Yeah,
am I
you're
back?
You
Okay.
cut out for a second, but you're fine.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, so I was just at a loss for words at this because just the way that they just like morph together to make this gigantic with a like machine type spinning roulette gun thing. I'm like, why didn't you do this in the beginning? Just why? What are you gonna do? You're gonna make two of those, then you gotta merge. I'm just like waiting to see what happens next. See how big these little robot dudes are gonna come together. Gigantic, like 3,000-foot tall thing.
Oh god. Okay, there's two things with that doesn't make that might limit it. One, like originally they didn't have enough guys to make this thing, and two is like it runs on CGI, which means like past episode 15 you're not gonna see anything different.
Okay, the best thing to come out of Build so far is the expression, it runs on CGI.
CGI.
Oh god.
Just letting you know that, folks. It just runs on.
I'm telling Vashi to listen to this when he wakes up.
Yes. He needs to listen to it so bad. Oh my lord.
Okay, yeah, the CGI running on CGI. Basically, okay, whenever I talk to my friends and the friends tell me when this dumb shit in Kamen Rider gonna get, like the dumb parts of Kamen Rider gonna go, and I'm saying let the budget run out. Okay, sorry, I spoke too fast.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I pretty
Relax,
much
bro.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, so
the
Hard.
like usually what happens with Ryder is like if it's too crazy, it's because they still have a budget. And they're just gonna throw it at stuff like every time it's either you're gonna get crazy CGI or crazy camera angle. And like the thing is, as soon as the budget kind of gets to like a normal, like restrained amount, all that crap's gonna go out and it's just gonna turn into a normal Rider show. But go ahead, King.
I was just gonna say, Decade, do you wanna catch up real quick?
Yeah. I'm just gonna try to run through everything I missed. Okay, so opening sequence, I liked it. Probably my favorite thing is all the smiling. It's just a lot of fun. And the shot of the cafe where they're all doing the different poses is pretty cute. I thought that was kind of funny that somehow Misora chained Banjo up earlier. I was like, what the hell? But yeah, they had a pretty fun interaction, and it was decent character development. You could see that Misora's kind of prideful, and that even though Banjo's kind of a bit slow at times, he can also be clever. The whole blowing through that plot with them leaving the secret base door open and then Sento carelessly ending his transformation in public, I thought that was kind of funny, because we could have spent like episodes and episodes with the reporter lady, sorry I forgot her name, just trying to figure out all that, but just like, no, we're just gonna Sawa, yeah, we're just gonna blow through that with some comedy. That was kind of fun. Yeah, I was a bit concerned with the way they revealed Banjo's backstory, but this is a writer show with a ton of plot potential based on the setting, so yeah, it's definitely making me optimistic rather than like, oh, what the hell are they doing? Yeah, the short bike chase with Banjo and the Guardians was kind of nice. Better than that CGI crap. And it's nice that he can actually fight off grunts in close quarters. Yeah, I think I cut up.
Rai?
I'm here. Ryuga goes to where he was told, but Katsumi has already been turned into a smash. Build gets ready to fight her when the Batman shows up and introduces himself as Night Rogue. Build tries asking what he did to him, but Night Rogue says he can't remember every guinea pig. Night Rogue explains that if Build removes the smash elements from Kasumi, she will die. It is fatal to weak humans, as he puts it. Ryuga jumps in between Build and Kasumi, and Kasumi forces her attack upon herself rather than hurting Ryuga. Seeing this, Ryuga asks Build that if she can't be saved, to at least return her to normal. Build, through various forms and powers, manages to separate Kasumi's soul from the Smash's body so Ryuga can say goodbye. Kasumi apologizes to him about getting him arrested, saying a man named Nabeshima could resign Ryuga's band if she told him to go to the scientist. When Kasumi's soul vanishes, Build finishes off the Smash, absorbing its component. Now, all that stuff you're saying about this episode being rushed is true. Honestly, I didn't know Kasumi enough to feel sad for her here where she dies. I kind of feel bad for Ryuga because we got to know him a bit, but like you all said, it was too rushed for me to really get the emotions going in this scene. Other than that, I'm not sure I have much else to say.
Um, like you said, right? It's kind of hard to feel sad you lose a character you don't really know about. But I did feel bad for Ryuga in that he just really seemed like he was done. He was just through with it. That he could have just gone to the wind and he would have been fine. But I don't know. I did like the methods he used. Like I thought it was clever. Like find a way to make it so your friend technically can say goodbye to the one you love one last time. I think that was really sweet. And I don't know. I mean, sure, though it was, I did like the sentimentality behind it. And yeah, it was a little bit rushed, but hell, it was it was something, and I did like it.
I guess I'll go ahead and go. One thing that I'm kind of curious about is how Night Rogue transforms, because he doesn't have a driver unless he uses one of his weapons.
Yeah, it's his like gun thing apparently.
Yeah, okay, that'll be kind of neat to see. Yeah, this is kind of what I was hoping for, is that the focus isn't gonna be a whole lot on, oh, this is this best match and it's so cool, and they're kind of just gonna, Sento's just gonna be using his powers like situationally and kind of cleverly. I hope they keep that up. I was not expecting her to die, to be honest. Definitely atypical for Ryder, but yeah, it did make me somewhat sad because of the flashbacks. But yeah, if we're going through this stuff this early in the game, I cannot wait to see what the writer has planned. And your joke was fine. Thanks, Go Boom. I was just messing with you.
Expect just that kind of like sour reaction to any puns. For those of you that are confused, we're talking about something that happened in the chat.
Yeah, it was. I'll get to it later. But basically, my thoughts on it was just the fact that just like walking in and then all of a sudden like, oh okay, and then all of a sudden explosion was like, why was the explosion necessary? Really, I don't understand the explosion at all. I don't know why. It's just the explosion of the said roof made no sense at all. I don't know if that was just her being a smash, blowing it up, or what. It was just bruh. And then Shaw just make like a little mental note that the Smash's one arm was basically a deformed lighter thing, and then its face looked like a bunch of like D like tens or something put together. They're hollowed out. Just put a little mental note in there that like they're just like making other things to put on the costume, and they just like deform it. Just I don't know if you guys see it. It's just like when I look at that, I just and a D10s or something just glued onto its head. They're hollowed out and colored, and oh Lord. And then when she like died and everything, she like turned, was like, and he just like zoomed out his face. Whatever. I just get this thought. I was like, where's the? How could this happen to me? Like, are they gonna start playing that? I was just waiting for it. I was like, oh wait, this is a Japanese show again. And then it put a bunch of memes.
Okay. First, like, one, it's not X8, so it's not meme central. Two, like, if you put this on X8, the Toei bots will get you and kill your channel in no time. Um, that's why it's not on YouTube.
Well, I
As
was talking about
for how could
here.
this happen to me, I'm like, kid, are you even old enough to be from the AMV days of YouTube? So like, you don't know how funny that song is.
How
Uh,
could this happen to
unless
me?
unless like you were on YouTube in like 2008 or something.
I remember middle
And
school.
that's, oh, yeah, that was like high school for me. Drago, go ahead.
Well, as far as the actors portraying the emotion goes, the guy who plays Banjo is like we have seen in Amazon season 2, which he was acted which he was there as. He also had a really good acting, and same as even here he does have the acting to pull emotional scenes off. And when Bill had told him to just don't let the when he was just done with his things after his girlfriend, that he was like just gonna add a breaking point. Look, the breaking point that must have like had a really that must have given him at least a PTSD with whatever has going on. So basically Senator telling him to just not let the sacrifice go in vain, just solve the mystery so that he can know what exactly is going on to him and stuff. That was a pretty good scene, even by the actor who plays Center. His acting was also good as well. Night Rogue, at least I don't. As far as what I've heard is that Night Rogue shoot himself in the head when he was transforming. But otherwise, Night Rogue also looks cool, and also the fact that whenever Center saw Night Rogue, he didn't act rationally and without any thinking. He just went off to fight. That was a bit of a character trait that we had not seen, that a calm character like Center is just going and fighting rashly. And yeah, and then also the fact that Night Rogue is super terrifying with how, like, at least Night Rogue, how he's acted and what kind of plan that he set up. Night Rogue was terrifying, at least by the characters, as far as the characters go. And I can't wait to see more of Nitro, because I don't really want him to be the bad guy behind the desk kind of villain, and I want him to be more active as far as villains go. Um, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Okay. First things first, Quintuvis Lockhart says Gorilla Mart can make diamond, Build can just pay off his debts. Like he doesn't have to work. Yeah, go ahead.
Do the diamonds still exist when he unhensions?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, it's called diamond, but it's like a diamond-like material. Like, I don't literally think he's making that. And secondly, even if he could, like, oh yes, I'm sure the bankers, or I mean the coffee owner is just gonna run up to the bank and cash that. Like that.
Why not? If you have a literal diamond, cash that shit in.
Is that gonna be like normal in like the super government controlled society?
Oh right, we're dealing with Skywall here.
Yeah. Right, like I don't know. Okay, let's say you do that.
Well,
and then the next time you need money, like you do it again, like wouldn't you get caught?
Maybe he can sell them to wizards so they get turned into magic rings.
Okay, buy a ticket to America.
Okay, see, we don't know
I
how.
want to go to America.
Okay. First of all, those would be seized on the border. Second of all,
Wait, what? They would seize your diamonds?
Well, if they're that big.
Wait, like you?
Like unless you declare them, it's like yes, like all these diamonds. Like okay, the diamond trade is insanely regulated for a reason.
Okay, you know what? Fuck this. I'm out.
Yeah, it's complicated. And the other, yeah, you basically get charged for smuggling. And the other thing is like, let's say you even got something this big, like who do you sell it to? It'd be worth like a couple million easy. Like who's gonna buy that?
There are people.
Donald Trump.
There are rich a-holes out there that would buy
No,
it.
no, they
Donald
won't.
Trump.
Because again, the diamond trade is insanely regulated, which means like you have no backing. You have this diamond worth like millions. Like, how are you gonna sell it? It's like trying to sell like a work of art on the black market. Like, yeah, you can own it, but like as soon as you try to move it, like a million logistic problems show up.
Like Donald Trump.
Like, I don't think he cares.
Quintavis, I don't think you thought about this enough.
Let us do this for you.
Take it into more thought process
And
then.
the other thing is like, okay, I don't know how the skywall works, so like, I don't know if it would limit them if they tried to leave Japan.
I don't think
We
it
don't know.
goes that far.
Okay. Here, as far as we know, right? Since like from the character of the mustache guy, let's say, I forgot his name. He was saying that foreign powers are looking at vultures to annex the other territories. So I'm pretty sure that foreign tourism is possible. It's just that the skywall had just separated them mechanically, and not so they can by sea route they can still go to the other territories.
Yeah, I think next episode they're going to another territory for some reason. I don't know. That's what I saw in the preview.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
But they're
So,
taking
like-
a boat. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the problem is like, okay, you could technically do it, but it's the Tokusatsu power problem. It's like if you de-henshin, what happens? Because like if they stay, then that's a huge problem because like you're literally spraying your battlefield with diamonds, right? Like it's insanity. And if they disappear, then it's like, well, they have no real value then. I'm just gonna go with like nobody thought this through, and they're not
Yeah.
diamonds. They're not diamonds. They just look like it.
No,
Also-
actually, they might be diamonds, or maybe they are not diamonds because they're just that hard as diamonds, I guess.
I'm gonna go with they cease to exist when he unhensions.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's how usually powers work. The other thing is like.
Okay,
Wizard
wait. Okay, here's the thing. The thing about they cease to exist when he unhensions is not that because when he was using the fire, he used the fire from the fire. This one, what do you call it? Whatever, smash.
Vacuum.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, he used the
part
vacuum
of it.
and he launched it up. So the fire must be produces carbon dioxide. From there, he has been producing the diamonds. That's how I perceive it, and that's what he did actually. So since he's turning the carbon in the atmosphere to diamonds, I don't think so that it's gonna go away.
Build is clearly too smart for all of us.
Yeah. Too smart. It's so
We
smart.
all
to
need a
forget to
higher
think of this.
IQ. We need to be like that one guy that had like the apparently IP of 600.
Ichigo.
Ichigo Kurosaki.
No, not that Ichigo.
Not
That
Bleach.
was Bleach.
Hey,
Original Kamen Rider.
Ichigo as
I
in
know.
number 1. Okay, I have one more note to
Okay,
read.
okay. Ichigo literally means number one, so it could be either of them.
I have one
Yeah.
more note to read, so
Okay. What was I gonna? Yeah, like most of you guys, like I agree. Like we didn't spend enough time with like Ryuga's girlfriend to really know her, but like I think what got to me more was like her actions when they were fighting, and she starts like attacking herself. I'm like, wow, okay, that was actually a bit of like good dramatic tension and like a well done scene at that point. So like I was okay with that, and like I'm more
we're
sad.
like towards
Yeah.
the end.
Tanks,
Yeah.
your mic is on. Could you turn it off?
Huh?
No, it's
your,
fine.
Your mic.
Oh, sorry. Actually, I had one more thing to say once everyone.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm pretty much done.
Okay. I was also going to say that better than like trying to figure out how these diamond things. I'm trying to figure out when in the world did he get this diamond thing, and when did he get that vacuum?
He got a bunch of them off camera. That's all you need to know. because that's all we're gonna
Yeah,
get.
because he has been working as a
Probably.
writer for like about more than a year or so. So I think that he got his powers beforehand, like how Wizard had also was Wizard for a long time.
Well, I mean, Wizard, they explain it like he'd been doing it for 6 months. Like this one, like I don't like Toei usually likes to do like 6 months earlier or 1 year. Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna do that in this show. It's just gonna be like, okay, no, there's too many of these damn gadgets, or whatever the damn power ups are in this. And therefore we're gonna give him like four of them to start off with, which it's fine. Because again, they should say in the show he's been running around doing Kamen Rider stuff for a while now, like at least a year or the better part of it.
Okay. At the lab, when the bottle Sento got from Kasumi is purified, it comes out as a dragon. Sento gives it to Ryuga to hold on to. Sawa comes in saying she found the guard who drugged Ryuga in prison to kidnap him, and identifies him as Nabeshima Masahiro, the guy that told Kasumi to send Ryuga to the scientist. Episode end. This is the most like just set up for shit that's gonna go down. Not much to really say about that. I do like that Sento gave Ryuga Kasumi's bottle. Like, here, she was your girlfriend or something like that. So, you take this.
Okay. Here, okay, right. Actually, that was not the reason why. It's because Ryuga is literally Ryu means dragon, right? So basically, okay, this is dragon full power. Let it give it to him.
Yeah, I
That
know
was
the pun in the name, but like he didn't just give it to him because of a pun, did he?
Yeah,
Yes, he
Misato
did.
No, they're both sentimental about it.
Like, I get that, like, oh, Ryu means dragon, so give the dragon to the dragon, right? Yeah, but it was sentimental as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, partly.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably like both at this point. Like, I don't think he just gave it to him because of the pun. Because this is like our last thing. Yeah, I didn't really feel much from this preview. It's like, okay, it's set up. Like, it literally can be anything. There's nothing leading from this. Like, this episode was good, rushed as all hell. Hopefully, we slow the fuck down. Then again, like, next episode doesn't look like there's that much going on, unless we go into another part of Japan, in which case, explain why they're different. That would be nice. One last thing, we didn't talk about the intro like Decade did, but we didn't. Did you guys like it? Did you guys like anything about it? Like, for me, it's like, yeah, it was an okay song. I think the only thing that sticks with me is like when like the three of them, like our main writer, the girl who can, turn like make the capsule things, and like my god, I remember the secondary's name more than anybody's. Like, you see them using like the bottles. Like, I hope that happens in the show, which means like at least they'll have, they won't be depowered, and which also means we don't have to keep relying on, oh, you have the henshin to be able to do anything, because that would be stupid. So like at least we'll get some decent use out of them, especially when like the writer, oh, this power up is like super weak, like the writer can't use it, but like one of the companions I guess could. That'd be cool if they do that. Any thoughts, you guys?
I'm almost done learning it. I'm this freaking close to learning it. But just to finish off, I did like the ending, small though it was, and good setup for what's to come. But yeah, that theme, I'm so close. I'm trying to get it done by the end of the month, but I did like it.
I think I'll be learning since I'm basically been doing a lot of shit. I've had no time to learn the theme yet, but I really like the theme. But I would still say the theme would have worked better as an ending song rather than an opening song. Because at the end, before bottle is about to be handed, and then start the song of "Be the One," and then there would have been a much better way to and the song would has a better capping thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe they're really going early Heisei and like Agito's intro, which was basically should have been a fucking ending. Okay, they're probably
Okay.
not doing that.
Or maybe they're gonna do it like exit in the middle. They are gonna take up the opening time and then use that as an ending.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would work.
Cause seriously, Excite worked so much better as an ending. Also, as far
Excite was so
how,
good. Yeah,
Okay.
Excite was so good it could have worked as anything. Like it literally works as fucking theme song, random background filler. It's great.
Yeah, multi-use theme songs, and also the last thing that I wanted to say is, yeah, Ryuga has been getting the reason why I call him the secondary writer of the show is because basically in the opening he is treated like that, how they just put his scene in the middle and how it's portrayed. And also this show gives me the dual protagonist vibe. Like basically Ryuga and Kiryu are equally as important, like how it was with Kagami and Tendo and
Yeah, I was gonna say O's and I mean Edgy and
O's and
Onk
Unk, Oji and
because
Unk.
like when they ride off with the bikes and like they both have motorcycles, I'm like, oh man, I missed this. I haven't seen this since like O's. That was great.
Yeah, I really like the fact that secondary rider and primary rider are equally as important. Like in basically it we haven't seen this since, let's say, Kiva. After since Kiva, after Deno, we haven't seen this secondary and primary being equally as important. It was always been focused on primary more, because Deno was the last one that did this.
I
Otherwise,
can't
have
argue
no
that.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one thing that we didn't mention because it's a pretty short scene, but the owner of Nasita and Misora's dad, Soichi, he's basically looking at his tablet, saying that I guess it's the article that Sawa wrote. That's my guess. And
Yeah.
he basically, once he's done reading, somehow morphs his tablet into a freaking back scratcher.
We actually did talk about this a little bit before you got here.
Oh, okay.
We were talking about
Yeah.
how they might be aliens.
Yeah. Who the hell knows? Definitely interesting. Hopefully he uses it as more than just a back scratcher maker.
Yeah, like after that happened, I was like, oh, okay. So like I was thinking it was Build who activated the wall. Maybe it was like Soichi, the owner guy. But I'm like, that's not possible because his daughter is too young, or I mean, too old. Because like, there's no way she would have grown up to this age in 10 years unless like rapid aging or something. Because so yeah, I was thinking of switching my theory from Build to the owner who activated the wall, but I still think it's Build. But yeah, it feels like they're Martians or aliens or something. Like they're not human. Like I don't feel like they were people who were experimented on, because like their abilities seem a little too different.
Yeah, and also at least what my theory is. But how old is Center, by the way?
I don't know.
Because if he
he says
20.
like Yeah, he says I'm missing like 20 years of memory, so it's 20 something, like early 20s maybe.
At least 21, because he's been there
No.
for a year.
Okay, because the thing is that okay, in the subs that I was reading, that Ryuga was calling Sento a middle-aged man.
Oh yeah, also.
Okay, so he's 25 and older.
Yeah, he's 25 and older. So yeah, now it would make sense if he was like if he was like around 28 or 29, then it would make sense if he could activate the box. If he was the one who could activate who had activated the box. If it was not, then if he is like younger than 25 or something, then it is not possible that Build is the guy who did it.
I mean, it could be him, and like, what would have happened is like he was the original Martian. They were experimenting on him. So like the thing is like they can age differently, or like he was put in stasis or something.
Oh,
So the thing is like it could still be him. Like the only reason I think it's not the owner is because like he has a daughter, and like the
Yeah.
daughter is too old. Because I don't think he would do it if like the daughter was like 8 or something. And then like why would you activate the wall then? Like it's kind of a waste if you're already living here for a couple of years. You know, it doesn't make sense.
mm.
Whereas Build, it could still be him because all you see is like they're experimenting on him. You don't know if they're like making him into one of them, or maybe they're trying to extract what's in him. You know?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, I forgot to include in the notes talking about the opening. I like this opening. I like this song, but it is a lot more calm than like what we normally get for a Rider opening. I expect something kind of like Excite that like gets my blood flowing. This feels a bit more like an ending theme to me, but I do like it. It's great, and I can't wait to hear the full version.
Yep. Same here.
I'm
Okay. Yeah, continue.
okay. I mean, again, like I agree with everyone else. I see they have something for the beginning.
You cut
I
out
mean-
there.
Oh. Okay.
Just
sorry.
start over.
Okay. But at least we have something in the beginning. I mean, it might not get. Okay, we're starting. Let's do this. It kind of like gets in the mood, and then they kind of like go back to the fight, like the end of it. I mean, the fact that who's the fighter again? I'm having a brain fart.
Ryuga.
Ryuga. The fact that Ryuga got the dragon capsule, which I'm lighter thing turned into a dragon. Granted, all the other monsters turned into something that didn't look anything like it or make any sense. Okay, so I think that's like kind of giving the hint that
You got cut out.
You cut out super hard there. You said they were trying to give the hint that what?
they're probably giving the hint that hey, next up.
I can't
Okay,
believe
you
you
cut out
cut out
Oh, my
again
lord.
at the same spot. Your internet is trolling you super hard right now.
Stop trolling me, internet guy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Can't even say God. That's impressive.
Wow, holy shit. That's amazing.
To be fair, I would have been way worse if I had tried showing up to the podcast.
Oh. Oh.
Hello, guys. I'm Taste Kaboom. I'm Comedy Central.
Oh.
Okay, let's try this one more time. Third time charm, or unless the internet got Spanish. I was trying to say that it's probably giving the hint that hey, I'm gonna become a comedy.
I still enjoyed this episode. it had some pretty good moments in it. I'm still liking this series so far.
Um. Oh, it's me. Oh. Okay. Basically, again, it's for a second episode. It gave us a bunch more background, and it kind of like brought in more things to think about, more things to like. Okay, this makes more sense and stuff, and it just like how to put it, like they answered a bunch of our questions from the first episode, but also with giving us those answers, it gave us more questions in the process. So I mean, for this, me being the first time trying to go through it a full Kamen Rider thing, I'm starting to really enjoy this. I'm like, really intrigued. I'm like when's next? Thoughts?
For me, I had like do you find like the episode was good, rushed, yes, and it gave, and also the fact that they used every secondary rider trope for Yuga. That was interesting, and also I at least now I think I after watching Amazons and after watching X8's that middle section, I would say that Kamen Rider doesn't need an opening and it needs instead. Because ending makes you a bit. If you use that as an end, that it makes you a best episode. And if you use endings like how
Yeah,
that
like Amazon does it.
yeah like how Amazon and even season 1 did it. Like whoa 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 whoa.
Yeah. But then
Okay,
again, like Amazon's fucking soundtrack is great,
yeah.
or at least that song.
Take your Amazons.
Yeah, I think actually the second one is a better build up, but yeah,
Some
okay.
Dear.
we should
It's
be up.
fine.
We should be up now. For some reason,
Okay,
I had
yeah.
like a 2,000 drop frames. I have no idea what the fuck caused that.
Yeah, no, I mean like I'm on my phone. I have you, and I'm on the stream.
And we're back. We're back.
Okay.
Yep.
Decade King and Zero still have to go.
Okay. Final thoughts. Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of painful waiting to QC it because they took longer than usual, I guess, at the typesetting. But yeah, I enjoyed the episode. If anything, I think this show is gonna have some great comedy because I mean, in this episode alone, we get a pretty decent balance of like silly anime comedy, but also like witty, smart ass comedy. So yeah, that's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to whether or not I think they are gonna make it too, but they're going to the Sato region next episode. So yeah, that'll be exciting.
Don't forget the comedy from me.
That certainly is a plus, yeah. And I agree with Decade. The humor seems like it's going to be very fun and very variety filled. So I am really excited to see where this goes. And this basically did what an episode 2 is supposed to do. It opened the door for some answers and a whole lot more questions. So I am very excited to see what's next. And I really, really, really want to see next week because the form looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah, this was a decent episode. It definitely needed to be a two-parter, but for what they did a good enough job. Yeah, weirdly enough, like normally I'm not really into comedy and stuff, but the show's been doing its comedy really well. It's got this really well, not like a full early Heisei vibe, because that tends to have more of like a darker atmosphere, but it's mostly there. It's like 80% there, which is good, especially considering like they even totally had the whole moment of like what you want to die? Like, do you think that your girlfriend would be okay with that? Which is, something the lead writer usually says, but it takes like a minute. But like, it's interesting that Build like right off the bat like says that. I was like, wow, that was a pretty fast pep talk, but like it makes sense. So it's kind of interesting to see how his character acts, which is a lot faster than other writers, but it makes sense. Um, Otherwise, like, yeah, it did a good job for the second episode. Um, Hopefully, they're only speeding up now because they want to pace out the good stuff later on, and like the show slows the fuck down and starts acting like a normal writer show and does decent plots, because we can't do an entire arc at this speed. It's gonna be insane.
Yeah, it's basically if it goes at this speed, then people would be like, "You thought Exide was fast? Have something faster."
I know, right? Like, I'm like, say it was pretty fast, but Jesus, at least it felt like a writer episode. This feels like it's going so fast, it's taking like 20% of the episode, just chucking it. Like, because it went from like scene to scene, and it just jumps between like 3 different scenes without like, okay, how did we get here? Like, what happened?
Okay. About that.
It's like
about
seeing flashback, different locations, seeing flashback. Oh, they're somewhere else. Like, it makes sense what's going on. It just doesn't make sense like how everybody else is winding up at these places. They just sort of show up and do a scene. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say, this officially has more bikes than Exide ever did. And I'm not talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, as far as because I want bikes or something that people ride on. If they don't, then it's not Kamen Rider.
Oh,
It
you
is
gotta do the
literally
whole-
half of the title. Rider.
Oh, you're gonna do the
And
whole
how
face.
the heck did Drive become a Kamen Rider?
Okay. Because Proto Drive had a bike.
Yeah. And no, he should have called him the Kamen Driver. Wait, that's a Brit series on internet.
Okay. Yeah, you're turning into like Saracenia, and it's like, I can't do this show, right? Because where's the bikes? I'm like, okay,
I agree with
secondaries all
Saracenia
have
on that.
bikes. Okay, like the only reason they gave him a car is because like we weren't doing any like, because we got to the point where we were doing so few bike stunts that like
Yeah.
we're like, okay, let's give him a fucking car. At least we can do the, car chases a little easier. And like, yeah, for Drive, like they did a couple, and they were good. They should have done a couple more, but what? Like, what can you do? No time, no budget. It's Toei. At least like the bikes are here. They're probably gonna disappear in like a couple episodes. I hope not, but like at least keep them around from getting from place A to B. Like if you cut the bike fight scenes out, like at least like let them ride on the damn things.
Okay,
Like,
actually, this was an issue that the band Toei is facing in Japan, is that so many, like, previously they used to use road legal bikes. Bikes. Yeah, now those are not road, like, since now they are focusing on, they have like stylized bikes, so they are not road legal anymore.
I mean, kinda like it's weird because like I don't know, like Double's bike, Decade's bike, Kiva's bike, like all those like can drive on the road, no problem. Like Exide's bike is fine.
Wait, Exide's bike is Exide bike was fine, but I don't know why that they do that.
I mean, it's like a scooter, but like whatever. I mean, it makes sense because it's one of those like medical ambulance things, like so it's fine. But like most of the bikes are fine. Like the coast bikes, they're like street bikes and like a dirt bike, so they work fine. So like that's a bullshit excuse. Toei is just being lazy. Like,
okay,
I can give like Bill's bike. Okay, that thing looks like it shouldn't be road legal. Like it's perfectly road legal. Like take off the fucking backs and front signs, and like it looks like Blade's bike. Like it's perfectly fine.
Mm. Well,
Like
also,
my other
wait. Also,
problem,
I
like
wanted.
yeah,
Okay,
just one last
continue.
thing. Like if they're so worried that they're not road legal, like make them look like Blade's bikes. They still had like their rider accents, but they look perfectly road legal. Like it's not that hard. If they
Yeah, I
had.
was gonna say that actually. And also, if, remember that who wrote Kamen Rider, who's a rider because one guy rides a Chimera, one guy rides a Cloud, and one guy rides a cycle.
Hey, for a while, Hibiki just got around in like a jeep. He didn't even have a bike.
Yeah, right.
And
Like
then
the Yuki riders, they just all.
yeah.
The Jeep thing is super funny because I'm like, what? Did you just borrow Gavan's like Jeep while he was using it? It's great.
In the Sango movie, we got that big bike race.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what? Like, it's not even that hard. Like, they just need to go to like, okay, they could literally go to a racetrack, shoot like a couple scenes, and then like splice them together. Like, it's not hard. Toei, I
Yeah,
think,
that's what they
is
did
just
for
being
Amazons.
lazy. Yeah,
Yeah, they
exactly.
did it for Amazons because they were riding on the same highway again and again when they were doing the bike scenes.
Yeah, and it's perfectly fine too. Like, Toei has so much money. They could literally build a fake fucking roadside in one of their damn abandoned warehouses. Like, they have no excuse. Right? Like, like it doesn't make any sense. I'm starting to think it's just like they can't sell the damn bike toys, so they're like, oh, we had to think of a reason. Like,
Probably.
it's the same problem that rider kicks have disappeared. Is like, well, you can't sell this. You can sell all the gimmick finishers, so we're gonna use more of those. It's sad. I mean, then again, like builds rider kick was kind of shit, so I'm not super sad it's gone. But like X8, all the rider kicks were awesome, and we got them like once, which was sad.
Well, as fun as this discussion about bikes has been, this podcast has been going on for almost 2 hours, so I think it's time to call it here. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Tuesday is Q Ranger, and then next Wednesday will be more Build. See you next time.
Thanks for listening.
Happy Kikes Day, everybody. Bye bye.
Later, taters.
Later, guys.
See you, everyone. Thanks for joining us.